How do you do, G-Pod crew? It's your Nutty Buddy Putty here, and today we'll be reviewing Episode 9, the season finale of What If Season 1. Now, if at any point you do like this review, these Easter eggs, anything I'm about to mention, I do need to ask you to do me the favor of hitting that subscribe button. Quick and easy, but definitely helps out. Now, keep in mind that this season of What If, as far as reviews, have been a little bit slow, but I really enjoyed what's been put on the show so far. And I'm going to explain about what the title means here in just a moment. Before we do that, I do want to also remind you that this is the season finale, but we will be getting on November 24th, which is literally the day before Thanksgiving, we're getting Hawkeye. Then December 29th, literally, 4 days after Christmas, we're getting Hawkeye. And by the way, the Thanksgiving I'm referring to is the American Thanksgiving. There's a Canadian Thanksgiving and a few others I actually found out. And they're going to be celebrating that on the 11th, I think, of this month. But with that being said, today we're going to be talking about what if the Watcher broke his oath. Now, a lot of people might be wondering, what is his oath? In the What If comic books, the main thing is they never really link to each other. They're just basically one-shots. What if Wolverine beat the Hulk? You see it in one issue. He unfortunately ends up dying in that issue. Spoiler alert. And then we move on to another issue. The Watcher is only in the background to watch and tell you how things have changed. He's a narrator, but he has total control and has the strength to do whatever he wants. But he made an oath to the gods above that he would never, ever tamper with the universes that he watches. Until now. So if you saw the last episode, What If Ultron won, you see that Ultron actually got all the Infinity Stones and actually heard the Watcher and started basically attacking him. And the Watcher is defenseless. Now, what makes this so great and why this title is so great, it says, what if the Watcher broke his oath? The Watcher has never been a central part of What If issues. It's always been the characters in the Marvel Universe, not the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Marvel Comic Universe. And he's always just been the Watcher. That's why he's called the Watcher. So to see him break that rule for this episode is going to be amazing. Now, I have not watched it. This is literally me recording prior to me watching the episode. So we're going to be going through the Easter eggs as we go along, just like I've done in other episodes. But I feel this is particularly special because this is breaking something huge in the What If universe, and I'm kind of glad they are. What If is something of a comic book that kind of died off years back, and to see them say, well, we're going to go ahead and break the rules a little bit, and then now we're going to combine things, let the Watcher break his oath, and also put together a team based on the other episodes, which they would never do in the other issues of the comic book. Kind of mind-bending if you think about it. But with that being said, I want to go ahead and get into this episode, so let's get started with the first Easter egg. Now, for our first Easter egg, we have Batroc, or as they call him, Batroc the Leaper. Now, Batroc is actually a character that has already appeared in the MCU. He first appeared in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and then ended up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the series. Now, keep in mind that in the movie, I don't think they just call him, I think they just call him Batroc, but in the comic book, they call him Batroc the Leaper. He has no abilities. He's basically just a generic superhero, super villain that just has a great martial arts. He's basically like Black Widow or Hawkeye. He actually first appeared in a Sales of Suspense number 75 with both Iron Man and Captain America, and understand that he looks quite different. He's kind of like the Hawkeye syndrome. You know how Hawkeye has a purple outfit and it would not really look good from comic to MCU? Well, as you see in this picture right here, it shows what the comic comparison is, which, by the way, thank you to accurate.mcu for this. I did find this online. I figured this is a great picture right here. But this is actually a picture of what Batroc looks like. And again, in the comic, he's called Batroc the Leaper. But, of course, in the MCU, they end up changing it now. I do love that they did keep the look here, but didn't give him the mask or the crazy look. And they didn't even call him the Leaper. But it still works. They still have a hint of the purple and yellow that you see. It's not over-exaggerated. And it ends up working for the character himself. So this is basically who it is that they're going after in this particular scene in What If. Alright, let's go ahead and go into the next Easter egg. Now, based on the first part of this episode where they're going after Batroc, it's both Scarlett Johansson's character, Black Widow, and Captain Carter. And of course, Peggy Carter, we see in the first episode what if holds up the mantle of Captain America, but is called Captain Carter. So apparently, her and Black Widow either have a history or they met just like they did in the MCU version of Captain America meeting with Black Widow. I'm not exactly sure how it's set up in this. They may discuss it right here, but I think what they're going to do is they're going to literally, and this is just my prediction. Again, I'm doing this as I'm laying these parts of the video out as I'm watching the episode. Basically, I think that the watcher is going to go to each what if as they appeared, as far as episode 1 all the way to episode 8, and recruit each character he needs, which means they're going to get Captain Carter here, and then I honestly forgot what the next episode was after Captain Carter, to be honest with you. I can't remember. I think it was the T'Challa episode. No, maybe not. I don't remember what it is. But all I know is no, actually, I think it's going to, I don't remember. Honestly, I've totally forgotten my what if episodes. But my point to the whole thing is they're going to go between episode 1 all the way to episode 8 and recruit him. So I'm guessing Thor is going to be the last one they recruit. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, it would be episode 7 because 8 actually had Ultron win, so that wouldn't count as an episode. So it's 7 Avengers he's recruiting. Maybe more. Bit confusing, but we'll go along with it and add things up as we go along. And there you go. The Watcher literally just broke his oath, hiring Captain Carter. This is monumental in the Marvel comic book universe, guys, let alone the cinematic universe. I can't wait to see what happens. And I was right. T'Challa was the second episode. It's the next recruit. But this scene right here might be leaving a little bit of people confused. So let me explain. If you remember, in the movie Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, they actually showed Ego, you actually see Star-Lord meet his father, Ego. But if you remember, he was actually scouring other planets trying to find his child or his son, and they were not worthy of taking on the powers that Ego has. But then Star-Lord ended up having that ability. Unfortunately, this version of Star-Lord is just human. He doesn't become the Star-Lord that T'Challa ends up being in this What If series. So he doesn't see any use in this offspring of his, and is draining him of his godly, or I should say, sub-godly powers. This is another reason why Ego is just horrible. He's literally killing his own son. Bad, bad man. Now, isn't this an interesting twist, I should say? I thought it was funny. Anyway, so Gamora is being recruited, but if you remember in episode 3 of What If, it was what if the world lost its mightiest heroes, and we do see that in the final chapter, it's actually the prior moniker of Ant-Man that ends up doing, destroying the world's mightiest heroes. She wasn't really that involved in all that, but we do have also the Zombies episode, the Killmonger episode, and all those about to happen, so we may get some twists like this happening in this episode as far as who is recruiting. But you'll notice she's literally wearing the armor of her father, Thanos, and is carrying the weapon that you see him carry in Avengers Endgame. So I thought maybe you guys would like to know where she got all that. She actually got that from Thanos. Pretty cool, huh? Now, this is an interesting twist. Why would he hire the new Black Panther, aka Killmonger, when he's a bad guy? This is Killmonger here, right, that you see. He's hiring Killmonger, who killed Iron Man, aka Tony Stark, I should say, and just went down a path of evil. Why would he hire him to be a new Avenger? Oh, yeah. This is about to get really freaking cool. It may be brief, but it's going to get really freaking cool. One of my regulars is going to love this. Inside joke. Let's continue. Now, if you remember my last episode where Ultron won, Arnim Zola, they ended up taking him out of his computer, put him in the Arrow, and used it to put it against Ultron. Now, he states in here that his original goal was to dominate the world with Hydra, but then he says in this part, you stop that from happening. So he wants to stop Ultron now. This is all part of Age of Ultron, Avengers Age of Ultron. Remember, in Age of Ultron, Ultron stopped the rules of Hydra by having its own goal of world domination in order to eradicate all humans. So for him to be in his eye, it's another goal. Since Hydra was destroyed, there is no Hydra. He's literally the last of Hydra. So his goal is now to destroy Ultron. So it's pretty cool, but I thought I'd go ahead and remind you guys of that and what his common goal was in the whole scenario of What If and in the MCU. Didn't I say not to trust Killmonger? What's happening right here, right now, in this scene, where he's apparently taking the metal off of Ultron, this is cause for concerns and also could lead up to what I think could be What If Season 2. I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay, I am very delighted on what they did here, and I'm going to show you. So if you notice, Arnim Zola is now taking over the body of, well, not Ultron, actually, it's Vision. Or at least what looks like Vision, alright? He's taken over the inside body of Ultron that is Vision. But you'll notice Armin's face is in the middle of the chest. The reason I state this is great is because of his comic book origins. When he finally got a body, when he transmitted his mind into computers, he eventually got a body that looks like this. Does this look familiar? Oh yeah. Let's look at this again, side-by-side comparison. You'll see that the head is in the chest, just like in the MCU version, or whatever you want to call it, the way his head is, into the comic version. So they literally did exactly what we've been waiting for, putting his head or his body, his mind into a body, and putting his head right on the chest. I just had to point that out. That is amazing what they did right there. Beautiful. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the final episode of What If Season 1. Basically, Episode 9, What If the Watcher Broke His Oath. Now, if you're wondering what happened, tell us, Putty. Well, you should go watch the episode. I'm just here to tell about the Easter eggs. And I got really caught up in this episode. Really, really enjoyed this episode. But I think you should go watch the whole series. A whole series to see what happens and hopefully what could lead into more What If episodes. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Remember that November 24th is going to be our first episode review of the 6 episodes of Hawkeye, and then soon after on December 29th we have the Book of Boba Fett. But until November 24th, we don't have any Marvel, ladies and gentlemen. Oh wait, do we? Oh yes, we do. The Eternals, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you hear from my review of the Eternals and for the new Spider-Man movie. But until then, as far as Disney Plus, we have till the 24th to wait for something. As always, I am Putty with Putty. I don't have an ending yet, but we'll hopefully have it figured out by Hawkeye or the Eternals. But I appreciate you watching. And again, I will speak with you guys in the next series. Make sure you have noties on, guys, so you can see what those are going to be. I can't wait to get back into the Marvel world with you. I'll talk to y'all later.